Hi, I'm Kenny Bernardini, and welcome to Smithtown Spotlight. Today I'm at Hoyt Farm, a beautiful nature preserve here in the middle of Commack. This 136-acre preserve is owned and maintained by the Smithtown Department of Parks, Buildings, and Grounds. Have you ever wanted to get away from it all? Hoyt Farm is the perfect place to visit. I had a chance to talk with Jeff Gooman, the park manager, and he's going to offer us some insight into the history of the preserve.
The property was originally owned by the Wicks family. It was purchased back in the early 1700s. They were here for a good 200 years, from 1740 till about early 1900s. The Hoyt family came in and they bought the property from the Wicks family back in 1910. The Hoyt family turned this into an apple and peach orchard. Back in 1920 is when they started rebuilding their house, which still is here on the property. And they built it into a very successful apple and peach orchard, probably one of the biggest competitors here on the island that stemmed off into the Bronx, Brooklyn, into New York City. They had this going for a good 57 years. Later on in the 1960s, the children of the Hoyt family sold off the property to the town of Smithtown. They did what their grandmother, Barbara Hoyt Stokes, wanted. They wanted this property to be preserved for conservation and educational purposes. What this park is more geared towards is the town of Smithtown residents. For Smithtown residents, all they need is a sticker. Show proof of residency, you'll get your sticker, and you could drive in anytime, and of course, there's no charge. You could get a sticker here at Hoyt Farm at the front booth. During the winter time, you best go to the town hall. The only time non-resident is allowed in our park is if they're with a picnic, and they have to tell us what picnic they're with, and there'll be a $7 charge for them as well to park in our parking lot.
One of the things that stands out when you enter the property is the large house here on the grounds. It was the original home of the Wicks family and was built in 1770. People can travel back in time and see the house as it existed in the early 1900s.
The middle part of the house is the original Wicks house, and that's the way it still remains, is the way it was when the Hoyts lived in that part of the house. And what it consists of is the front part is a parlor, which is where Edwin Hoyt did most of his bookkeeping concerning the apple and peach orchard. Then when you go down the hallway, on the left-hand side, you have the dining room, the way they used to dine. Everything is original. And on the right-hand side, you have a sitting area like their library. And it is the same as it was back in the 1920s. And that's for the public's enjoyment so they could see the way the Hoyt family used to live. Then when the Hoyts resided here, they added the east wing, the west wing, the upper dormer, which makes it such a tremendous house because they did have a lot of kids, the Hoyt family.
Aside from its scenic beauty, Hoyt Farm offers numerous educational programs. I talked to SHERYL Brooke, who heads up the programs available to the public here at Hoyt Farm.
We do have our educational coordinator, SHERYL Brooke, that gives most of the educational programs here, and they consist of pond life programs, farm animal programs, a lot of things having to do with Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. If they have a certain type of badge that they need to earn, SHERYL or myself will give educational programs for these kids so they can earn their badges.
I feel like I'm really fortunate to have this position. I did go to school to be a childhood educator, and I had the opportunity to work in a school district and enjoyed it, but I felt like being outdoors and really having the opportunity to create programs that go along with New York State standards, but I have a lot of freedom to do that here, and also a lot of ability to use some of the hands-on things that we have here to work with.
In addition to the numerous educational programs at Hoyt Farm, a favorite is the program that teaches children about early life on Long Island.
It's called the Native American Indian Program, and it educates the kids as to what Long Island was all about, how they used to live. It gears towards a whole thing about the Indians living here on Long Island. It's about a 2.5-hour program. The ladies that do take care of that program, they do a wonderful job. They're here generally through spring, going into the fall. It's open to all schools of Long Island, not geared towards just the town of Smithtown.
What would a farm be without farm animals? Aside from the indigenous wildlife, Hoyt Farms is home to numerous farm animals and is a favorite among visitors here.
We do have a lot of animals here that a lot of the kids and parents enjoy. We have our cow, we have sheep, we have goats, we have pigs, we have chickens, you name it. Any type of farm animal you could pretty much think of. We love our animals over here. You know, we love dealing with them. Kate Murphy is our animal preserve caretaker.
Here at the farm, my job is taking care of the animals, feeding, cleaning stalls, bring them in and out to pasture. I do a lot of other things around here, but the animals is pretty much my specialty. There's not a lot of farms on Long Island, so when people come here, it's like a little piece of upstate. Like, you don't see a farm in a residential area. So when you come here and you see the chickens wandering the property and the goats making sounds and they get to feed the cow, and we have the pigs, get to see a pig every day. So it's kind of cool.
With our animals, we do have them penned up, you know, up at the barn. And what we like to do is we like to take them from the barn out into a large pasture where they have area to roam.
All right, boys, they're gonna come right towards you.
When we bring them in and out of pasture, it's the coolest thing because it's like walking over a dozen animals that normally you wouldn't think would follow somebody, but they have their own personalities and everything, and it kind of just, it's really cool to see.
But putting them out into the pasture for the day, they have the sun, you know, that's what you want. You want the animals to roam free.
True to Barbara Hoyt Stokes' vision, Hoyt Farm is dedicated to the preservation of all types of local wildlife.
On a good day, you could see that we have largemouth bass, we have sunnies, perch, a few perch in there, a few catfish, a variety of turtles, different types of frogs. To me, it's a big watering hole for all the animals that we have here at Hoyt Farm, which makes that pond very, very special because that's like the main food source for so many different animals that live here at Hoyt. We have fox here, we have raccoons, we have all different types of reptiles and amphibians that need that pond for a water source. We get all different types of birds here, but the boxes primarily, you got bluebird boxes, screech owl boxes. These boxes here out in the distance, they're bluebird boxes. They're rare around these parts of the island. Out east is where you'd find bluebirds more, or upstate. Once in a while we'll get bluebirds here. Of course, that's the state bird, and you know, we really would like to get a breeding pair here someday. There are other birds that also use these boxes as well. You know, we do get our tree swallows, and of course your other birds like indigo buntings may take residence in a box, or sparrows or starlings. We have our owl boxes. Primarily what we get here are screech owls. We get a nesting pair about every year. We do get a lot of people, local people that come back here in the dead of winter. They're back here walking. Even during the winter, we're busy here with people. They like to get away. To them, it's always the same thing. I hear the same thing. It's like you're upstate New York.
I'm here at the Hoyt Farm Nature Center. The center offers visitors a look at Long Island's ecology and beyond.
The Nature Center is the old bathhouse for the Hoyt family, and it has been transformed into an educational facility for most of our programs. We have a lot of live animals as well as some other displays. We have reptiles, amphibians, and fish. So that is one of the focuses of the animals that are inside, is to kind of learn about the habitats of those animals that live here and live in other places. We do take out a lot of those animals for the students to touch and interact with. And a lot of the other displays that we have in there are interactive, so it's kind of a hands-on learning experience. We try to encompass a variety of natural history displays. We have a lot of Native American displays and actually some artifacts that we found here on the grounds. Some of the other displays range from the geological features of Long Island as well as here at Hoyt Farm specifically, and a lot of animal things. We find that the public as well as the kids really love to get involved in seeing the animals. We do have some taxidermy displays inside, and as well as some food chain displays. Some of the animals that we have inside the Nature Center are native and non-native to Hoyt Farm and Long Island specifically. And we try to bring in animals from all over the world to give kind of a comparison, and also to let the kids know how special and unique a place like Hoyt Farm is. A lot of kids won't get the opportunity to be introduced to a snake maybe from Africa, so we try to give them that opportunity here at Hoyt Farm Nature Center. All of the staff that works here kind of brings in their own little unique experiences and interests and skills. So all of us working together get to come up with some really creative and interesting ways to present the Nature Center so that it's a really educational, exciting, and fun place for the kids. My background is in education, so I try to gear all of my displays towards, an educational theme.
Not everything at Hoyt Farm is geared towards learning. Sometimes people just want to kick back and have some fun.
18 acres of Hoyt Farm in the front is geared towards picnickers, company picnics, family picnics. And during the summer, it gets real busy. It gets real busy. We have picnics by the thousands. We have our water park down there. We have a very nice playground. We also have concerts here as well.
Hoyt Farm, I feel like, is a really unique, special place in Smithtown and on Long Island. First of all, it's kind of surrounded by a residential area and backed on one side by Northern State Parkway. But when you walk inside, you really don't get that feeling. It's kind of a special niche among all of these other kind of crazy places. Being that it is so isolated, we have some rare species that come here. It's pretty much self-sufficient for most of the animals that come here. It's also a really important stop for migratory birds. So it's a really special, unique place, And without it, I think a lot of the animals that live here would be gone from this area completely. So I think it's a wonderful place.
I'm blessed to have this job. You know, I've been coming here since I've been 8 years old. I'm very fortunate to be living on 136 acres in the middle of Commack in the town of Smithtown. You know, it's somebody's dream. So it's a good thing.
I hope you enjoyed our visit to Hoyt Farm. I urge you to come visit Hoyt Farm Preserve and discover this hidden gem. I'd like to thank Jeff Gooman, SHERYL Brooke, and Kate Murphy for their help on our tour. For Smithtown Spotlight, I'm Kenny Bernardini, and thanks for watching.